It's Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. So this Shabbat, as we head into the remainder of that weekend, maybe you don't have work or school on Monday, so we can take some time thinking about justice and what kinds of justice we care about, and how we can help bring that into the world, help tikkun olam, help make our world a more whole and more peace world. So certainly something that's become more important to me, especially over the events of last summer and recently here in Columbus, is racial justice. Certainly have to mention that for sure, as we're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy, and how much more we have to go to actualize racial justice in our country and also in our world. If you have a type of justice that you are especially passionate about, we'd love to hear about it in the comments so we can share those things that we feel most passionately about. How about you, Mike? What's an area of justice that is important to you?
I'd say for me, it's got to be environmental justice. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people out there who are living in these redlined communities still. They don't have equal access to nature and the outdoors the way everybody else does. Either a bus line can't get to there, people can't afford a car to be there. So just being able to access the same kind of things everyone can is really important.
Yeah, and I've seen some studies that has like a huge effect on you when you're able to access nature, like emotionally and mentally, and but also just the pure enjoyment of it. Yeah, for sure, definitely, and that's connected to climate justice too, right? We're still facing a huge existential crisis, that's a good one. Yeah. Jennifer, I see you. Women's rights. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. I know that one is near and dear to your heart, as it is to many of us as we continue to fight for gender equality, for sure. Still remembering Justice Ginsburg, for sure. Hi, Brent. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you. So we're looking forward to welcoming we don't really welcome the end of Shabbat, but we hope to kind of extend the sweetness and the peace of Shabbat into the rest of the week. So if you've got some candles, like I say every time, oh my gosh, there's so much wax on this guy. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean this at some point. You can get 3 candles and smush them together, or if you have your own Havdalah candle, that also works. If you've got some kind of sweet spice, I don't know if I put what I put in there. Maybe it's thyme. I'm not sure. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I got this during my year in Israel, so it's had its fair share of spices and candles and all that kind of stuff. And then if you have some wine or something that you don't mind getting some candle into, there's that as well.
Don't use good wine.
No, don't use good wine, because you're going to regret that in a moment. Would you mind grabbing there's a lighter right back there. And you all can see, perhaps for a moment, special guest star Aria on the chair. She made a special appearance last night at services. And what can I say? Her mom's a rabbi. Huh? This is it. Thank you. All right. So you've got your candles here. That's fine. Something that I love about Havdalah is that it reaches all of our senses. And yet we don't need anything fancy. You can have a fancy set like mine, but it's not necessary. So we use all of our senses to recognize the holiness of Shabbat, and that while it's ending, we can still carry it over with all of our senses. It is certainly our hope. All right. Oh, this one does not want Shabbat to be over. Hang on, friends. All right. I was waiting on you.
I think my guitar got a little out of tune when I stood up there. Uh-oh. That's okay. We're going to push on through this one. Baruch Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'esh borei me'orei ha'esh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamavdil ben kodesh levol Hamavdil ben kodesh levol.
So we've delayed that that drinking of the wine or whatever you've got in here. So we'll take a sip together, and then the big moment as we end Shabbat together. So as we head into our next song, beautiful by the way, thank you. As we head into our next song, Eliyahu Hanavi, or Eliyahu the prophet, who will be welcoming in a few short months to our Passover Seders. I wanted to just mention that in this song, we think about how soon we hope that Elijah brings the Messianic age. So there's this idea that Eliyahu the prophet will bring in tradition the Messiah, and in Reform we think more about a Messianic age, an age of peace and wholeness and cooperation and understanding. And instead of just passively waiting for this dude to come around, instead we are all active agents and helping to create that shalom, that peace, and shalem, that wholeness. And we hope that that this world sees that justice soon, but also that we help create it. So as we think about this weekend in particular, we pray for Eliyahu the prophet, but we also perhaps also remind ourselves that we too can be Eliyahu as well. So please keep singing along with us.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishmi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Imhera v'yameinu, Yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishmi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Ooh, nice. That is one of my favorite prayers that we have. And And we'll keep on singing together with Shavua Tov. May we have a good week.
Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov.
That was so nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone so much for joining. Wishing you a Shavua Tov, a good and peaceful week. May we all take a moment to reflect on Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy this weekend, and how we can continue to be a part of that legacy and that call to justice, and all other types of justice that is sorely needed in our world. Shavua Tov, Mort. And I see perhaps Lisa also. Hi there. Yeah. Cool.
Shavua Tov, Mort.
Thank you all for joining us. We've got a lot of fun coming up. We've got yoga with Julia Spector tomorrow morning, which is always a really wonderful way to start the week. We've got a lot of other fun things coming up, which you can check out on Facebook and our e-window and all the other usual places. But for now, we will say Shavua Tov and Shalom, and especially to Gail Rose, who's also joining us. Hi, Gail. Thank you so much. So wonderful for all of us to come together. I love how this is just to end. I love how this is kind of a new thing that we've started doing over quarantine, and I just think it's really cool. A nice new way to reconnect and kind of incorporate this into our rituals is really nice. So thank you all for joining us on this Saturday evening. It's not Sunday yet.